Today we are recapping another lifetime mess. Ella adores her nanny, Matilda, and the old woman adores her back. Since Matilda has to leave for the weekend, she assures the kids she'll return by Monday. However, something happens to her one night while she's taking out the trash. Because she's white, she decides to follow the noise and someone tackles her. Remy's new book is about to be published, and she's glad that the publisher didn't put the word socialite in the About the Author section. Remy is from a wealthy family, but she doesn't like talking about it. In fact, all profits for the book sale will go to her charity projects. I wish I could be that rich. Today, Remy heads out to interview the new nanny that will replace Matilda. It's all so sudden, and even her husband Jack can't accompany her. Jack is a little resentful because he's stuck working under Remy's father and he's constantly busy. The new nanny applicant is Kendra. Remy has checked in with the agency to get a background check for Kendra. So all that's left to do is learn more about her as a person. For Kendra, being a nanny is her calling. Inspired by her mother's nurturing side, she knew she always wanted to care for children. Impressed, Remy asked Kendra to meet Ella later. Much later, when Kendra arrives at the house, she is welcomed by Jack. Jack shows Kendra her room, and Kendra is impressed with the room and Jack's penis print. Kendra finally meets the kid and chats with her a little. Remy leaves Ella with Kendra to see if they will get along well. After talking, Ella immediately likes Kendra. So before the day ends, Remy officially hires Kendra as the new nanny. Kendra is elated. She is given the security code to the house and starts the next day. However, she hears Remy complaining about Jack leaving to work instead of eating his dinner. Thinking that everyone's asleep, she goes to a picture frame of the family and spits on it. "The fuh, who this bitch?" Then she goes to the kitchen and eats Remy's birthday cake. She is surprised when Jack walks into the kitchen and catches her eating. She apologizes and expresses worry that Remy will be mad at her. Jack defends his wife, saying that she's a nice person. Still, Kendra makes him promise not to say anything. The way she's looking at Jack is very sus. In the middle of their conversation, Jack reveals he didn't come from a rich family, unlike his wife. Kendra leans a little closer and tells Jack she's exactly like him. As soon as Jack leaves, Kendra uses the glass he just drank from just so she can have an ounce of his saliva. Crazy work. Then she specifically erases Remy's name on the cake and licks it. The following day, Remy shows her new book to her friend David. They have to attend a gala that night, and Remy hasn't picked up her dress. So she calls Kendra and asks her to pick it up for her. While at the playground, Ella keeps talking about her mother. Kendra gets angry with all the talking and starts pushing the swing a little too hard.
No, don't! I'm gonna fall!
She only stops when another nanny approaches who is worried about Matilda just disappearing out of nowhere. Another idea comes to her when she sees the warning signs for poison ivy. After getting the dress, Kendra encourages Ella to try it on. After that, she tells a story about how loving her own mother was. But in reality, she has a lot of bad memories of her mother. As soon as the kid is asleep, Kendra rubs some poison ivy all over Remy's dress. When she sees Jack that night, she tries to flirt with him again. Trifling. But Jack only has eyes for his wife. During the gala, however, Remy starts to feel the itch, and it ain't from Mr. Krabs. At the house, Kendra is playing with Ella. The conversations seem harmless, but Kendra slowly implies that Remy doesn't have time for her own daughter. Then Kendra receives a phone call from Jack saying that Remy has been rushed to the hospital. The following morning, Kendra takes Ella to the hospital to see her mom. She tells Remy that Ella must have gotten poison ivy all over her dress when she was playing with it. Just then, David arrives, so Kendra leaves to join Jack and Ella. But she side-eyes David, thinking that David is putting his thing-a-ling into Remy. To make up for what happened at the gala, Remy thinks of having a barbecue party at her house. Then they'll invite the donors. Kendra mentions David to Jack, who to her observations is a very close friend of Remy's. This has gotten Jack spiraling. When Remy gets discharged, she talks to her daughter about the poison ivy incident. Ella defends herself, but Remy thinks the girl is lying. So Ella claims that her mother doesn't love her. On top of that, she thinks her mother hired a nanny because she doesn't have time for her. Ella also says it was Kendra's idea for her to try the dress. Worried about all of this, Remy confronts Kendra. But Kendra explains that it's all just a misunderstanding and that kids lie to save themselves. So Remy accepts Kendra's explanation. Nah, that hoe is getting fired immediately. Because what do you mean Ella played with poison ivy and didn't get itchy? Math ain't mathing. That night, Jack and Remy argue about the party. Jack wasn't consulted about it, so he feels disrespected. Kendra is elated that the couple is fighting. The next day, Ella is upset with the hoe for lying about whose idea it was to try on the dress. But Kendra manipulates Ella and confuses her. Being naive, the kid believes everything she says. On the day of the party, Kendra continues to whisper in Jack's ear, making him believe that David and Remy don't have any respect for him. When David approaches, Jack snaps at him and tells him off. Remy tries defending David, and the couple end up having the fight in front of the guests. They are also not able to fix the argument before their scheduled poking time. Meanwhile, Kendra is always listening to them. The next day, Remy leaves early for a business trip. So that night, Kendra puts on a sexy dress and waits for Jack to come home. He's already drunk by the time he arrives because he had fun with some colleagues. He's upset and thinks Remy is eating David's carrot, so he drinks even more. Kendra approaches and joins him. Then she starts crying about her mother, prompting Jack to comfort her. Kendra takes the opportunity to tell Jack that he's a great catch, and then she suddenly kisses him. Jack gives in to temptation and crosses the line. They end up doing the full-on nasty. However, he purposefully ignores Kendra the next morning. The post-nut clarity is kicking in. While spending time with Ella, Kendra mentions how kind her own father was. It turns out that her father is Marcus Bell, Remy's father. Marcus was kind to her, but he didn't want to leave Remy and ended up choosing her. He offered to support Kendra, whose real name was Haley, but Kendra's mother rejected the offer. After some time, Kendra's mom died of pneumonia, so Kendra promised herself that she'd make Remy pay for ruining her family. Now that Remy has come back, Jack apologizes for the fights they've had. He has realized how much he values and loves his wife. He wants to talk about what happened between him and Kendra, but Ella suddenly walks into the room and interrupts them. When Marcus comes to visit, he gets to meet Kendra. However, he's unaware that she is the daughter he left behind. Kendra can't help but feel angry and jealous at the same time whenever Marcus talks about Remy. So Kendra puts some sleeping pills into Remy's drink before offering it to her. Remy quickly falls asleep, and Jack carries her to the bedroom. To take revenge on her father, Kendra is about to pull a tubie and push Marcus down the stairs. But Ella suddenly calls her attention. So she puts the kid to bed and executes her other plan. She takes Remy's phone and posts something on her social media account. The next day, Remy wakes up to Jack confronting her. There's a post on her socials admitting that she likes David.
I want to see him naked. I wonder how big his...
I'm wondering how big David is too. Remy denies making the post, but she doesn't have an explanation on how it was done in the first place. She deletes it after talking to Jack. Afterwards, she receives a call from her agent, Tony, telling her that they're postponing the release of her new book. Because the post is controversial, it's definitely going to affect the sales of her children's book. Despite arguing with his wife, Jack still feels bad about their fight. So, he sends her a message apologizing, but the problem is far from over. Back at the office, David is acting cold towards Remy. She explains that she didn't write the post and has no idea what happened the night before. She apologizes to David.
Don't make this any harder than it is.
I know you hard, David. However, the damage is done. The board thinks that Remy's actions will have a bad effect on the foundation's image, so they have decided to fire her. Jack returns home to talk to Kendra. She tries seducing him again, but he rejects her advances. He says what happened between them was a mistake, and he'd confess to Remy what they did. Kendra refuses to accept the rejection, so Jack tells her to leave the house immediately. Offended, Kendra snaps and finally admits who she really is. She blames Remy for the destruction of her family and for the death of her mom. Kendra was hoping that she, Jack, and Ella would eventually be a family once Remy is out of the picture. Everything that belongs to Remy would be hers. Jack realizes that Kendra caused the poison ivy incident and also made the scandalous post online. He swears to tell Remy everything, so Kendra threatens to accuse him of taking advantage of her. When Jack runs after her, Kendra kicks him, and he falls down the stairs and loses consciousness. Just then, Remy's car pulls into the driveway. To save herself, Kendra slams her head multiple times against the railing. The doctor says that Jack is in a coma, and Kendra is being looked after in another room. A police officer approaches Remy and relays Kendra's statement. According to Kendra, Jack tried to SA her. She got away, so he chased her and slammed her head against the railing. And that was why Kendra kicked him off the stairs. Remy doesn't believe the accusation, so she confronts Kendra afterward. But the fake hoe claims innocence and swears by her allegations. Suddenly, Marcus shows up and tells Remy it's time to go home. The next morning, Kendra leaves the hospital and heads to Remy's house. She steals Remy's car keys and goes to Marcus's room. Kendra finally reveals who she is, and Marcus apologizes for all the bad things that have happened to her. But it's already too late, and she proceeds to stab him. Afterwards, she takes Ella from her room. By the time Remy wakes up, Kendra has already left. Remy is shocked when she sees her father covered in blood. Furthermore, she discovers that Ella is not in her room. Remy calls the cops right away and follows the car using a tracker. Kendra plans to take the kid to Mexico and start a new life with her. She makes a stop at a diner and steals the car keys of an unsuspecting woman. When Remy arrives at the diner, Kendra quickly steals another car and drives away. But Ella takes the chance to escape when the car stops. Kendra chases her and leaves the car behind. When Remy sees the vehicle, she heads to the woods and looks for her kid. She eventually finds Ella being threatened by Kendra. Kendra finally reveals her real identity. Remy feels sorry for her, but asks her to let Ella go. But Kendra's too far gone. She remembers the time she spent at the orphanage and the time the boys took advantage of her. She was suffering while Remy was enjoying her wealthy lifestyle. To piss Remy off, Kendra reveals she rode Jack like a jackrabbit. The two fight, and for a moment, Kendra overpowers Remy and is about to strangle her to death. But Remy grabs a rock and hits Kendra hard in her hollow head. It's already over by the time the officers arrive. Remy is grateful that everything is over. Her father has survived, and she has forgiven Jack for cheating on her. Yuck. All that matters to her is Ella. When Tony visits her, Tony wants Remy to turn this into a book. However, Remy just wants peace. Remy reveals that Matilda left town after Kendra threatened her. The agency wasn't able to detect Kendra's behavior because she did a good job working with different families over the years. But all of that is in the past now. Kendra is serving her sentence in prison, and Remy can go back to caring for her loving family. It's always the secret half-sister that'll get you in these Lifetime movies. What did you guys think of this one?
Hey, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe now and turn on the notification because YouTube isn't recommending my videos. And if you like to watch more foolishness, click here or here.